Welcome class to your last video for Alien Invasion. In this video we'll cover the sections adding the play button, leveling up, and scoring. I start here at the Chapter 10 Assignments module just to note to you that when you do submit your zip files for those sections, that you submit them to a separate Dropbox. So not to the Chapter 10 Assignments Dropbox, but up to course content and then to the AI2 Dropboxes. So there's going to be a Dropbox for adding the play button and the leveling up section, and then the scoring section. So let's go ahead and first look at adding the play button. So when we run this file, you'll get a play button on the screen, okay, and it'll run through as many times as you set up for ending the game. So mine's going to run through 3 times. Okay, and then I could be able to click on play again and it will do the same thing. You want to make sure that you can still shoot your aliens. You want to make sure that your ship can still move right and left, and that your fleet is, observing the right and the left edges of the screen. Now, what if you don't see your play button? If you don't see your play button, I need you to go ahead and check in the game stats module that you have this set to false. Okay. Sometimes students will code false and then the next one says true, and then that overrides the value. So just make sure that it is set to false. Other things that I've seen for debugging is if you get that black screen. Okay, so it opens up your window, but you have a black screen. You want to make sure that your indentation here is absolutely correct for run game. It's usually because this update screen is either lined up under the if with these, or maybe it's pushed out here underneath the while. So you want to make sure that it lines up with the if. Okay, so those are a couple things with regards to adding the play button. There is multiple testing spots in this section. I have labeled in my book 1, 2, 3, 4 different times. Another thing I want to point out is in the check play button function on page 284. This statement right here is if button clicked and not self stats game active. This one is an updated statement. It's not a new statement, so you want to make sure you just go ahead and modify the code from what it was there. Okay, so then going into leveling up. So leveling up is going to increase the levels, and so this is where you're going to have to actually play the game. So let's go ahead and get that one open up. Okay, so let's see if my skills, oh, I got a smaller screen yet. So I want to be able to see that the aliens are going to get faster once I get rid of these on the screen, which is like challenging evidently. Yep. So you can see the leveling is increasing. Okay, and that's what you want to see for this section. And again, it should die the 3 times, right, or 4 times, and the play button should come back. Okay, so that's going to be your functionality for the leveling up section. Now, I don't have any notes in my book. It's a short, really just 2 pages of code for the leveling up section. Just make sure that, if you get an attribute error type of thing, that you're just, looking at the spelling, making sure that they match correctly and things like that. Okay, so let's go into the scoring section. The scoring section is the longest section. Okay, so this is 288 through 301. You really want to make sure that every time it tells you to test, that you are testing. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tests in that section written in my book. I really don't have anything in my book that, well, I do have one thing. So let me go ahead and open up this version. I need to do folder. Make sure you continue to add your 2 minimum code comments and make sure that any new files that you're adding that name and date at the top so that you don't lose any points for that. Okay, so in the check bullet alien collisions function, okay, you want to make sure that prep score right here, that you have the correct indentation here as well. So indentation, very important in programming. Okay, otherwise I don't really have anything that was like tricky or that I found that students really struggled with in the past with this section. So let's just go ahead and run it and see what it comes up as. Okay, so you have your 3 ships here up at the top. This will be your high score, this will be your current score, and this is your current level. Okay, and then of course the play button. So I have this a little bit slower for me. Okay, and then now so you see that level 2 is adjusted. Let's see if I can get up to level 3 here, and then I'm going to go ahead and let it kill. Okay, so now I'm going to see that 1 ship, and I actually probably should increase mine to 4 so that I get all of the ships off the screen. Okay, and I mean the ships off the screen up in the upper left corner. Now once you've done that testing and everything works out, then you want to go ahead and test it again so that you go ahead and make sure that the high score goes and updates. So whatever number you get it to, you're going to want to try to beat that number. Okay, and I can see that it's updating. Okay, once you've tested all of that, you can just go ahead and queue to quit. And so as always, if you run into any problems, just please let me know. I'm happy to help you with your debugging. And if by chance you forget that you need to submit the adding the play button and the leveling up separate from the scoring, and you go onto that scoring section, don't worry. Just make sure you submit the 1 zip file to scoring, and I will get you credit for both sections. So each one of these is going to be worth the 15 points. So questions, debugging, send them my way. Thank you.